Hello everybody, happy May. It's a little bit windy out today. Hopefully you can hear me or maybe you can't. I am actually out getting a haircut today at a new place, so I thought I'd take you with me. And I'm not usually in this part of town, so we'll see how all of this goes. I've got my hair pretty long now, so I'm really looking forward to getting it trimmed off. And I don't really have a style in mind, and we'll just see, I'll leave it in the hands of my new hairstylist.
Every minute slipping by, even when I close my eyes, ruthless I know. You might even wonder why I go MIA sometimes. I can't deny. Try to hold on to the things I can't keep. Slipping through my fingers, I was losing control. Took a couple months till you knocked on my door. Sat by the sea while the waves fell asleep. Didn't know what I should've let go. Thought I lost my way, but now I am sure. If I spend all my days searching for gold, I would be running out of time to see all your beauty and beyond. So instead I'll sing this song. Time and time again I'll go back to my reality. Foolish, I know, but you always keep a figment of my mind, guiding me back ashore in my darkest days. Try to hold on to the things I can't keep. Slipping through my fingers, I was losing control. Took a couple months till you knocked on my door. Sat by the sea while the waves fell asleep. Didn't even know what I should've let go. Thought I knew the way and I knew it for sure. If I spend all my days searching for gold, I would be running out of time to see all your beauty and beyond. So instead I'll sing this song. Paint a star with a movie scene. My heart is yours to keep. Color it down with a song to keep. Please don't ever leave. If I spend all my days searching for gold, I will be right.
Well, what I was trying to say before I was rudely interrupted by all that outdoor traffic is hello, it's May. It's the first weekend of May. We've got some beautiful, just perfect touch of summer weather happening. We're not into summer yet. I'm very clear on that. But between the little bit of a breeze and just the warm sun, it was a really good day to be out. Now, I will say I'm always thoroughly impressed by people who commit to the vlogging life, getting those real, authentic, raw snippets when you're out and about, in the moment, sharing the moment. My moments are usually just filled with car noise and wind noise and barking dogs and birds and crows and never really quite work out, does it? So I apologize for the awkward intro. I was really trying to hit you with something good. I am home now. I have gotten my hair cut. I want to talk a little bit about this hair situation. I've got some stuff to show you, and I'm generally in a good mood, which, you know, for a change is not a complaint about the weather. So my hair, it has grown out to be quite long. I do have a regular hair person that I go and see often. I've been doing my hair for the past 2 years or so. I've done my color most recently. And in, you know, the latest turn of events, I've decided to sort of grow out my color so we can start with more of a blank slate and we can just redo it from virgin. I think that most stylists, or I assume that most stylists, would really prefer to work with, you know, your natural virgin hair, just because there's less variables to deal with. You know, you're not blending things that much, and it's just a full natural clean slate, clean canvas, do what you want, right? I haven't quite decided what color I'm going to get it done. I'll probably commit to it over the summer or towards the end of summer. Until then, I'm just going to try and grow out as much as of my natural hair color as I can. You can tell that we don't have too much left. And when I went in today, I did actually go to somebody new just to check it out. She was recommended to me on my Instagram algorithm, and I figured, you know, I don't really have much going on. Let's go check her out. Let's go on a field trip. So this is kind of her interpretation of something wash and wear, easy to style, not too fussy. And essentially I just said I need some of my ends trimmed off because they're getting dead and dry. It's kind of just sitting here. I don't mind losing a few inches, but I still want to keep the general feel of my hair long. She gave me some curtain bangs, which I've had before, and I didn't actually like them very short, so this is pretty good. I like them kind of blended into the rest, and they're not too long but not too short. Gives me a bit of movement and also something different, because by the time that you kind of tie up your hair, which I don't do often, the curtain bangs at least add a little something, because your girl has big old forehead and sometimes I just need a little coverage, you know. Either way, I'm pretty pleased with how this is going. She did a lot of blow drying, so my hair is like super smoothed out texture wise and everything. We did a wet, we did a wash, we did some dry cutting, we did some texturizing, took out some bulk. I was very clear though that I did not want too many wispy layers. Back in the day, I was more into that, and I still love that look, more of a wolf cut. I love that look. But it's a little hard to maintain and style. It takes a lot of thoughtful styling for it to like look good. So this is the hair situation. I'll have to see how it is once I get to style it myself. Anyway, I gotta show you some goodies. The other day, we have these on. I am still on a nail kick, okay? We are on and off this nail situation. For a little while, I was doing kind of that gel X-esque thing. I was trying some rubber-based gel. I was still doing a lot of learning. My nails were feeling a little bit rough, so I really had to take a break from all of that and go back to growing out a little bit of the damage that inevitably I caused myself from my learning curve. And while I was doing that, I was like, oh, these are so painfully, like the grow out period for anything, hair, I don't know, nails, anything just feels so long. So the other day when I was at the store, I saw these nails and I thought they were really lovely. And surprisingly, the base color is a really good color for me, I think anyways. Blends in well with my skin tone. And these are the medium. They are some Kiss nails. I guess Kiss now just dominates everything, nails and lashes in the drugstore. But I thought these are cute. These are just regular glue-ons, so we'll see how long they last. I've never been very successful with glue-ons, but you know, you always need hope, don't you? This is what I'm super duper excited about for this weekend. I have purchased these new to the market anyways, Kiss lashes. Again, Kiss, you know, winning it everywhere. This is not their usual seal and bond type of lash enhancements. These are their long-lasting no glue falsies from Kiss, but like Kiss, their Impress segment. And these are up to 5 days, reusable, waterproof, no damage, 24 pre-bonded clusters, 1 applicator is what they're selling this as. I have a friend who really loves the original semi-permanent lash extensions that came out from Kiss a while back. The ones with the bonder and the seal and the mascara tubes. She loves that. But I don't know how I feel about them. And when I looked at those lash cluster designs, the curve didn't quite feel right, and the length was always just too long, and I couldn't really commit. But for a little bit cheaper, they had this, which is a new product that's out. So I figured we'd try that and see how it goes. They range from a 5mm all the way up to a 14mm. So the shorter end of things is actually really short, which I think is going to be good for my lash situation. Now, I did get a lash lift a while back, and I still do really love lash lifts. Like, they are my preferred method for lash eye enhancements. But the thing is, the last time I went, I was using some lash serum that my lash tech said kind of messed with the porosity or the density or something of my lash hairs. So the solution for the lift wasn't quite doing the right thing that it usually does. So I just need to kind of grow them out and start from base again, and we'll try again. So in the meanwhile, this eye, most of the lifted lashes have either shed or they've kind of drooped a little bit. They don't usually do this, by the way, but this eye is still quite perky. So I'm trying to, get through maybe another week or two before I think about booking for another lash lift. I just want things to have a little more time. In the meanwhile, though, I'm excited to try these. I've been in a pretty good mood lately. The sun certainly helps. Getting to the end of the school year also helps. As much as I love my students, sometimes you're just ready for a break, right? I know it hasn't been that long since spring break, but spring break isn't the same as summer. With all that rain and the wind and the stuff, usually in March around here is definitely a little more dreary and less exciting than coming into summer. So I've got another week of teaching only, actually. Proper teaching, and then we are off to the testing season. A bajillion pieces of paper to mark, a bajillion students to test, a bajillion reports to write. But every year we get through this, and so I'm confident that we will again. In the meanwhile, I'm trying to ride this good mood and do a little self-care, buy some sunscreen, put on some false nails and lashes, and get my hair done. Just feeling a bit zhuzhed up. Because in other news, and I'll probably make another video talking about this, I was trying on some of my outfits for an event I'm taking my students to. And things don't fit no more. And that got me a little bit down. We might chat about that in another video, not right now. We're in a good mood today, and I think we gotta ride out this good mood. That's enough for me. I'm gonna go and take a little breather because I've been out for hours and hours. I wasn't intending on being out for so long, but I hope you're having a good start to your May and you're doing something lovely for yourself.
I'm stopping by just to tell you I hope that you understand why these things on my mind keep me up at night. Maybe you are the answer, but lately I'm so alone, stone cold, romanticizing our love has got so much worse. Now I lose my turn to say you are the dark when I'm in solitude. You are the spark when I'm in
As the weather warms, I thought I'd talk you through some of my skincare products that I am very close to using up. Lately, I've been trying to go a bit more minimal with my skincare items and routine, really just sticking to a toner, some kind of a treatment slash ampoule, and then a moisturizer, and maybe once in a while, top it out with sunscreen. But lately, I've been really enjoying Korean products again. Once upon a time, when I was deep in the beauty blogosphere, I go through phases of trying Asian beauty products and then go back to your regular Sephora stuff. I have been using the ROUNDLAB Soybean Nourishing Toner, which you just see me apply, and then I'm using the Skin 1004 Madagascar Centella Ampoule. I feel like an ampoule is just more of a concentrated toner slash serum. It has a liquidy consistency, hence coming through a pipette, and I just use it as a little bit of a top-up, especially when my skin is feeling dry, and I don't find this too sticky or goopy or anything like that. It's really a nice texture to put over your skin and to layer with other products. Between the soybean toner and this Madagascar Centella ampoule, I'm finding that it really helps to soothe my skin, especially as the weather changes, and I'm thinking about maybe getting another bottle or maybe trying something new. I really haven't solidly decided either. Nonetheless, it's something I've been using day and night, and as you can see, I am running low. And to be running low on all of my products seems a little scary. Next up, I'm using the Green Tangerine Vita-C Dark Spot Hair Serum. What a mouthful. Again, this is one of those highly recommended and talked about products. I'm a little late to the game, but it's got one of those stickers that says rated like #1 by customers and whatnot, so I figured I'd give it a try. This one definitely has a gel consistency, and as I'm trying to get the last couple of pumps from my bottle, we are just scraping the bottom here. I find this a little bit tacky, but once it does dry down and I put some moisturizer over it, it's not really a big deal. I have been less fussy about my skincare, like I said, so I haven't really been doing like a hardcore, log or comparison about how these work, but I find they generally make my skin feel relatively happy and I don't have any major issues, or it just might be my skin aging and finding a new balance. The last thing to top it all off, and as you can see, bottom of the jar, this is the beauty of JOSEON Dynasty cream, which was trending for a little while. I find all these products to be relatively inexpensive, especially compared to what drugstore prices are like nowadays. So this is that last step to really seal in whatever I just put on, all the layers. And I will say sometimes I will skip the Vita-C serum if I find it just a little bit, too much, too many layers. But for the most part, this leaves my skin feeling good as a, 4-step combo, which already seems a little excessive for me day to day. Something I also really enjoy about all of these products is the light, beautiful textures that are really meant to be layered together, and I find it much easier to layer Korean skincare products versus maybe other types. I also love the mild scent. Now, I am someone who likes a little bit of scent and fragrance in my products as a whole. I find it adds to the experience, but I certainly don't want anything overwhelming. So anyway, all of that has been working really well. However, now that things are coming to, the bottom of the bottle, I gotta decide, do I just repurchase the same thing? Or this does open up the opportunity to try new things. I do find nowadays I'm a lot less adventurous with trying skincare products because then I kind of gotta use it up. I've been trying to hoard less and use more, if you will. Let's also take a minute to talk about this hair situation. I am not very fussy with my hair, but lately, at least in the last year, I've been trying hard to grow out my color so that I have the opportunity to get it redone from scratch. So we are, almost at the end. I think with a couple more inches, I can, just get the bottoms chopped off and start from a blank slate. I am super excited to get my hair colored again. I haven't fully decided what color, but I think, I don't know. When you're starting with a blank slate, you can certainly go for something more fun. But in my heart of hearts, I probably am just more of a natural kind of gal. Happy Friday. Happy, very confusing, chaotic energy kind of Friday. I am having one of those days where I'm like, I'm not like tired, but I'm also not super like, you know, up and ready to go. I've been up since, gosh, 4 or 5 this morning because Mr. B had to be up to run an errand for his fam jam. So I've sort of been up since he's been up, and I didn't really want to go back to sleep, but I don't want to start getting stuff done. And then, what did I do today? I installed our patio screen door because summer's coming, and so are all the flies and bugs and mosquitoes. And then I just like did some really minor crafting. I'm working on a tote bag for him. I had a really confusing breakfast. I couldn't decide what I wanted to eat, and I was just, it's in the afternoon now, so I've spent most of the morning kind of in this lull, if you will. And we were chatting on the phone because he's out again doing some more stuff, and he'll be out for the rest of the day. He's going to the track, but we were talking about like something feels really off today. And do you ever just have one of those days where you can't quite put your finger on it, but something is really just throwing you off your groove, right? And that's how I've been feeling the last little while, especially today. I think it just all kind of, you know, accumulated today. The weather is oddly, it's very, very bright where you probably need sunglasses if you're looking into the sky, but yet it's overcast and cloudy. It's like sort of warmish, but a little bit chilly. Like you need socks if you're going outside. And there's some stuff happening with like the strata in our building. Thank goodness I am not a homeowner because I cannot deal like with that and my brain capacity. Yeah, and I'm running out of skincare. I've been slowly running out of skincare for the last, I want to say, a week and a half. But because I couldn't decide what I wanted to get next, like whether just to carry on using the same stuff or to try something new, but like I sort of want to try something new, but I couldn't decide what I liked. So I've been literally just scraping the bottom of all of my skincare. I have 4 products that's, you know, in my constant rotation that I am scraping the bottom of. I am like 2 uses away from running out of those core skincare items, and everything just feels so chaotic. But we were saying a nap would help. So we're going to start there. Maybe a nap. I haven't had coffee in 3 days also. I've been trying to finish up some tea that we've got in the house. Because coffee is kind of the go-to. He'll make me a coffee in the morning before he sends me off to work. And so I've been having tea for 3 days. I've had 0 coffee, which I'm not like super pumped on coffee all the time, but that's a little bit different for me, right? Between the coffee and the stuff with the building and running out of skincare and waking up at 4 this morning and the weather being weird, and it's such a strange like accumulation of things. But I think he's right. We gotta start with the nap and then do some like routine core familiar things to like reset the energy of whatever is happening. But I just thought that was hilarious, so I figured we start this weekend with a little life update. Chaos energy everywhere. Hi! Happy summer solstice. How do we get to this point? I'm not quite sure. I had full intention of, kind of getting on top of it in June. And this happens every single year, you guys. And I know it does. But somehow, May and June just kind of creep up on me, and life, work takes over, well, mostly work. And suddenly, like, I come out the other end of the tunnel and boom, it is the end of June. I believe Editing Jerry will probably try and smush whatever footage we have of May and this of June together, and we'll just start fresh in July. Nonetheless, I'm happy to see you. I feel like we have a bit of catching up to do. So I figure why not just, yes, it's the end of the month, but let's sit down, have a little chat, get caught up with each other, and talk to you a little bit about my very, very so close I can smell it summer plans. Okay? It is the summer solstice today, June 20th actually, which I always thought the solstice was like the 23rd. I don't know why that's in my brain, but I guess it might change slightly every single year depending on the sun patterns and rotations. It's meant to be the longest day of the year. That's the whole point of the solstice, but it's actually been gloomy and cloudy all day. I tried to film a little bit earlier this morning, but it just, like, I was so rusty and I wasn't cutting it. So had some dinner, got settled in, had some tea, and I think we're finally ready to have a bit of a chat. So this is actually your cue to grab a little snack or drink, because we might be here for a little while while we got some stuff to talk about. For one, remember I talked about being sick and trying not to get more sick? At the end of May, I got hit with whatever it was, again, or new, or variant. It wasn't the vid because I had tested, or whatever our tests were accurate for. It definitely wasn't that. And then I had some funny, maybe questionable allergic reaction to something, and it happened while I was sick, so I thought it was just the flu, and I was just a hot mess. So that was the end of May, and it took me out for like a solid 2 weeks. But it was also during testing season. So those of you who work jobs that have cycles, right? Whether it's a quarterly or like a seasonal thing or bi-yearly or whatever, for me, it's the academic year. So as we wind down in May and June, there's a lot of testing. That's all I've been doing. Like, that is all that my brain has been processing, just like testing, marking, reporting, district documents, filing. Like, it's just all of that stuff. That's all I've been doing solidly for at least 6 weeks. As of the moment that we're recording, I am 4. Count my little digits. 4 days away from being done for the school year. Of all the years, this is actually one that I'm feeling really, don't quote me, but actually don't quote me in August. I'm actually feeling quite optimistic about starting up in September again. There's some new things I want to do for my classroom and this or that. So I've already started saving some stuff. Like, hello, who am I? I've started saving some stuff on Pinterest and this and that for my September classes. But for now, I am, like everybody else, counting the days until summer break for me, for my students, for everybody. But there's still quite a bit of do until then. There's, the grade 7 graduation that I need to go and help out with. There's like, everybody's trying to do like a last minute field trip, a swim at the pool. You know how it is. If you recall being a student, elementary, high school at some point, like the last couple of weeks of the school year were kind of the best, I gotta say. So anyway, that's what's been happening with me, along with being sick and this and that. But I am, like I said, very much looking forward to the next couple of weeks. And I will say, I've mentioned in you know, the last year or two that life has definitely thrown me some curveballs, and I've been trying to juggle some lemons. And these things still, you know, are kind of consistently popping up. Maybe I'm just in a funny valley in my life trajectory right now. And that's not to say there aren't bigger woes and, you know, issues and kind of heartbreaking things happening around the world. But in the trajectory of like living my little bubble, the last couple of years have been a little bit of a low. But I'm actually feeling really optimistic about this summer. I'm excited about a couple of things, so I figured I'd let you in on some of my summer plans. Now, I know when we finish next 4 days, maybe 4 days at least, I'm just going to be an absolute potato for at least a week. It's funny because my mom will probably try and call me, right? But then I think my dad always tries to tell her, like, you know, don't bug them too much. Like, I know you miss them and whatnot, but like, you know, they're working, they're tired, they're all that. My mom, she's gonna mark the calendar for when I'm done work, and she's gonna really want to call me. And Dad's gonna be like, you know, let her sleep it off and stuff, because they all know for the first solid 3 days, I'm just gonna be in bed, snacking, and in bed. That is plan number one. But once I recuperate from that, I'm really looking forward to a couple of things. For one, I have brought the office Keurig home. So if you have been with me since the very apartment in my teeny tiny kitchen, like 424 square feet, and the pretend bedroom, if you know, you were there. I had bought a little single Keurig. I think it's a Keurig Mini, super cute. The last couple of years I've left it at work during the school year so everybody can share it. I'm lucky enough to have a little sink, so it's parked right next to the sink. It's been great. But in the summertime, I'll take it home. You know, like it still works fine. I'll unplug it, take it home, rinse it out, do a descaling, all that stuff. And so over the summer, I have my Keurig back. Now, I do have an espresso machine, and Mr. B for a while was like really into the beans and stuff, so he got like a fancy grinder. But sometimes you don't want to go through that whole process of like the grinding and the dialing in, and it's just a lot, right? Sometimes you just want the convenience of having a Keurig. But with that said, my point is, I've been really curious about picking up, what do you even call this? I don't want to call it, like, it's not drink mixing in terms of cocktails, but I want to learn how to make different types of drinks, like different types of coffees or tea blends or whatever. I am in a stage of my life right now where I just want to have these cozy home comforts, but at the same time, you know, I've been curious about all these clips that people have been posting, like hacks or dupes for certain popular recipes. And for the most part, I am a super simple drinks kind of girl. I will do like a simple latte. If we're really fancy, I'll do a little whip or something on top, but that's really about it. However, I am feeling enthused to try making some different types of drinks. You'll probably see this in the July vlogs once I've recuperated from being a bed potato. But I'm looking forward to like maybe getting and or try making some of my own syrups. You know, kind of putting together or putting the Keurig back in rotation with all the other stuff. I'm gonna make some space for that. I haven't decided yet if I want to put it together with the rest of the coffee station or kind of to the side. Just depending on the kitchen layout and what space we have. But I am super excited. I've been sort of taking notes here and there. But I think this summer is where I'm going to like really dive into that. Over the last year or so, Mr. B and I have been visiting third wave coffee shops, you know, where we can. We go to Prototype once in a while if we're in that part of town. Recently we went to Cow Dog, which is really good. Side note, Cow Dog, somebody commented on one of my last vlogs where I went to Cow Dog and I was like hinting where I was, and immediately apparently they knew I was talking about Cow Dog. So if you are watching this, I can't remember your username, but if you're here, hello. I just heard that Cow Dog is opening a new location. I think it's an additional location that has seating. It's on West 4th. It's in Kids. It's across from Ramen Dumbo. I'm really excited to go. I was watching Joe's vlogs about getting that put together, and it seems to be already up and running and in business, because the original location by, I think, Oak Ridge is quite small and tight. So shout out to Joe and Cowdog and the team. We really liked their coffee last time we went. So as I was saying, we're trying out some third wave coffee places, and there are a couple more that's popped up over the last while. So I'm interested in trying those. I'm certainly not a coffee connoisseur, I will tell you that. But I am looking forward to like learning how to mix some flavors and some ingredients and just, you know, something fun, which goes along with enjoying the slightly bigger, but importantly bigger, being the adjective, patio space that we now have in this apartment. With the previous place, it was big enough if you're just a single person sitting there. Definitely not big enough for a lounge chair or anything like that. But in the current location, it is just a little bit, I guess, longer, but also a little bit bigger. So I've been able to put a table in there with a patio umbrella, and it can fit 2 chairs, and there's a bit of walking room all the way around. So I'm super stoked about that. So it just needs to get tidied up and zhuzhed up, you know, because I moved in during like September, October, and it wasn't really the season for tidying up the patio or balcony, whatever you want to call it. But now it is. So I've just got the string lights up. It definitely needs a bit of scrubbing down and just some minor decorative touches. I gotta recycle some old pots, you know, the usual stuff. And I'm hoping for it to be a really nice hangout place in the warmer weather, especially those summer nights, right? Like that is something you got to take advantage of whenever that you can, especially if you're on the West Coast. So I'm super stoked about those 2 things. Now, cycling back to thing number 3, which is kind of important, and I want to just give you a little preview because I think this will be kind of my overarching main mission in the next, I don't know, 8 to 9 weeks of summer vacation. Speaking of me being sick, more so than any other year, any other school year, in the last couple of years I've worked, I've been sick so many times this school year, and I couldn't really figure out why. Now, one thing I could kind of pinpoint was that this was the first year I didn't get a flu shot. I'm curious if all of you get flu shots every year. I usually do, but that's more out of convenience. Because I work at a school, we'll just get somebody from the pharmacy to like make a trip actually, and we'll just all sign up for our slots, and they'll come and just go boop 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 boop, you're done, right? Like 5 minutes, not even. And that's always been great. But this past school year that's wrapping up, they happened to come on a day that I wasn't in. Now, could I have been a big girl and booked it myself and just taken the extra half an hour? Yes. Did I do it? No. Did I thought I was like stronger than that and, you know, oh yeah, germs is fine. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. So I'm not sure if it's that or it's just my immune system feeling super like in the gutter, or maybe I'm just aging and my body is just a little bit different. I'm feeling like it might be a combination of those 3 things. But like I said, I've been sick over and over and over this school year. And when you look at my sick days, I can see it on the system on the calendar. It's like every month and a half, I get a bout of something or the other that takes me down. The most recent, like I said, was at the end of May. I was out for solidly 2 weeks. But that was also testing season. It was just so inconvenient to be sick. I know this sounds like a super first world problem, but it's definitely been a bit of a trend of me being more sick than usual. So, speaking of that, I am curious to look into getting in touch with a naturopath. Now, those of you who have extended health, and if you have pretty decent extended health, you might also have this. I've never explored the path of naturopathy, and it is a category that's been on my extended health for quite a long time, and there's loads of other things. I was reading up on it the other day and actually going through all the categories, because my dad always says, like, if you're paying for it, you might as well use it, because you're paying for it for everybody else who's actually using it, which he ain't wrong. So I want to look into a naturopath. My understanding of that side of things is that they look at your health and well-being holistically. They may look at things like your sleep, your diet, your daily habits, you know, like all the things that go together for your well-being and what kind of goals you want to have. Because for sure, on top of being sick all the time, I'm also noticing in this season of life, I am also just tired. Like I'm constantly tired. And throughout my years, you know, I've been lucky enough never really to have anything major health related. I've been, for the most part, I eat what I want, I do what I want, I don't have any real persistent allergies of any kind that I could, you know, that I know of anyways. And things just kind of be la-di-da-di-da along until we hit 30s. And now in my 30s, I'm certainly noticing some changes in my body. And one of them being tired all the time. Despite me trying to catch up on sleep, despite me trying to get extra sleep on the weekends, I could bank 8 hours of sleep but still feel sort of tired or get tired quickly, and I'm not sure what that is about. So I want to get that checked out and just sort of figure out what's happening with the parts of my body that I cannot see and I am not an expert in. On top of that though, like building onto this, weight has been a bit of a funny thing for me in the last year or two. I've gained maybe 10 pounds, which in the grand scheme of things, no, that is not a big deal. But when you hate shopping for pants, any kind of weight fluctuation is actually quite annoying, if nothing else. I want to kind of get 10 pounds down. I think that's totally doable in 2 months. Right? I want to kind of maybe work on my diet a little bit. And this is all pretty new for me. I've never had to work terribly hard at this. Like I could drink, you know, back in my 20s, I could drink water and gain 5 pounds, right? So I've been trying to do things in the last month behind the scenes, like tracking my weight every morning just to see how the fluctuations go. I have been just being a bit more, I don't want to say restrictive with my food. That's not it. I've been eating just until I'm full, but not more. So it's okay if there's leftovers. I don't know if you grew up in a house like this where my mom, who usually, you know, boss of the kitchen, she doesn't like leftovers. She'd rather you just like shove it down and eat it so it doesn't become a leftover, right? So those were the habits I've grown up with and I've taken with me into my adult life. And I'm noticing my body is responding very differently now to the habits I've always had, my lifestyle habits. So again, I'm hoping the naturopath can kind of help me understand what's happening there. Maybe it's hormones, maybe it's aging. I found my first three gray hairs last month. It was like I had none and suddenly there were 3. So if that tells you anything. I also figured that being able to take control and have more knowledge about my health means I also need some data. So I want to talk to you about this quickly because I'm super excited about it, but it's not gonna be part of the regular vlogs because I want to make this kind of 10-pound or whatever naturopath health discovery thing kind of a separate video over the summer. I'm going to try and catch all the clips and amalgamate them together. But I was recently contacted by the lovely people over at Ultra Human. Now, full transparency, they sent me the sizing kit. We're going to work on trying out the Ultra Human ring, which is a smart tech, wearable tech, I guess is what you call it. They're not paying me any money to talk about this right now, but they really just reached out and said, hey, we like your content. You're curious to try this out. We can't pay you for sponsored video per se, but we love to send you some tech and see if you like it. Let us know what you think. So, you know, nowadays since the days of beauty blogging, I've really cut out a lot of PR. One, because I just can't commit to something if it doesn't fit into my lifestyle. But 2, you know, like I've changed my niche, right? Like my audience here, pivoting to vlogging is so much smaller and more intimate than when I was beauty blogging. I was reaching a different audience as well. But I'm also in a different season of my life where certain things just aren't really appealing to me anymore, and I'd rather not take on that pressure. The people at Ultra Human, though, were super open and flexible about how I wanted to create content, whether I was interested, and I was very clear, like, I want to try it, see how it fits into my lifestyle. It's going to be just, like, what happens and, like, a actual, you know, non-techie user experience review of whatever this ends up being. So anyway, I haven't opened this yet, but I'm super stoked about this. Because if you have been into this kind of thing at all, you'll know that there are a couple of like watches and rings and stuff like that you can wear to help track your some stuff with your internal bits. So for example, I've had an Apple Watch for quite a while, and I wear that mostly for communication. If the principal needs me, if somebody needs me, they just, you know, buzz right through like they get a pass through and they just go straight to my watch and I can get a memo quickly. And I also use it when I sleep because my alarm buzzes on my watch to wake me up because I sleep with noise reducing head earbuds. But the thing is, I don't love wearing the Apple Watch. Number one, the look of it doesn't go with all of my outfits. I wear it for its tech use purposes. I love it. Nothing against the Apple Watch, but it's not as comfortable to sleep with, and I have comparatively like quite a small wrist and smaller hands, and just even though I got the most, I think I got the smallest Apple Watch, it was still quite clunky and kind of big, and when I'm at home, I'm not really wearing it. I'm curious if with something like a ring, that it would be easier just to have on and become more just natural with like when I put on all my stuff, like, or I can like have it on all the time. It's meant to also last. I was looking this up because I was trying to get some basic info, and this one charge shall last you a couple of days, which is great because whenever I have my watch on, it's really got to be charged every day, maybe day and a half, and you're out of juice. And I always forget to bring the special charger for the Apple Watch. So number one, a little bit bulky. Number two, you know, it's just it's a bigger thing and it needs to be charged all the time. So with the ring, and I just looked online, they have a new color. This is the sizing kit, if I haven't mentioned, so I need to get sized first and then figure that part out. But they have a new color that is brushed rose gold. I think that is the one. I was humming and hawing over the color choices because I don't tend to wear a lot of jewelry, and you know, a bigger ring, like it needs to be a certain size because of the tech and the microchips and whatnot. I wasn't sure if it was like gold was a little flashy, silver was kind of chunky, there was matte black, but they just released a brushed rose gold. I think that is the one. Anyway, my point being, I'm curious about tracking some health data. My Apple Watch was tracking things like sleep, and I didn't use it for that purpose, but because I was wearing it anyways for my alarm clock, I was curious about that, and I kind of, you know, poked around in there. With something like the Ultra Human Ring, you can track stuff, of course, like your sleep. It tracks temperature. Apparently it tracks like caffeine something in and out. It tracks, you know, heart rate, like those kind of usual things, and you'll look for patterns, you'll graph your data, and most importantly, when I was looking into this kind of stuff before, the popular options required a subscription service, and they don't. So once you have the ring, kind of you made that purchase or whatnot, you have lifetime access, is my understanding, to the platform. And seems like they've got pretty good IT people, programmers on their team, because they're constantly updating, bringing out new features. So far, it's looking very promising. And not to mention, I'm excited about like a rose gold wearable tech. So that will be part of kind of a summer video, probably more towards the end of summer once I have some progress I can share with you. But naturopath, data tracking, health stuff, making some drinks, hanging on the patio. What else? I think those are like the core things I'm so excited to do. Once I, you know, finish work, go to my staff social, say goodbye, hugs and kisses to everybody, and we're moving on. We are trucking straight into summer. Mr. B and I aren't going camping this year. We gotta save some moolah for other things in life. But we are looking forward to going to like some local places, like, you know, places not too far away. Maybe like a day trip here or there. Definitely a lot of restaurants and eatery places, which is a little bit contradictory, you know, with my health goals or dietary plans, if you will. But I'm not going to get too worked up about restrictions or whatnot and things like that until I talk to a professional. So if you have advice on any of these things I mentioned, even on just finding 3 gray hairs, what do you do if you are dark haired and you start going a little gray? Actually, I don't even think my hairs are gray. I found 3 white hairs. Just saying. Anyway, if you have advice for this girl in her 30s, but still feeling like she's, 21 forever, let me know. Words of wisdom, words of encouragement, words of what do you do with your hair when you're like dark haired and you start going white or gray or whatever color. Let me know. Leave your girl some advice down below. I am always happy to chat with you. And those of you who come back often, I do want to take the opportunity and say thank you. I, recognize a lot of your names over and over again. And it really warms my heart. I know my audience now is not that big, since I've pivoted. And I just don't have the capacity to always upload as frequently or as consistently. And the things you don't know about behind the scenes and technology breakdowns and music subscriptions and just all that stuff is not worth going into. But it is definitely a side of this YouTube thing that's a bit stressful. But all in all, I enjoy making content. I just don't enjoy editing content, if you know what I mean. I'll see you tomorrow because I think we're going to IKEA and IKEA breakfast is back. Little did Eating Jerry know, as she's sitting here enjoying her smoked salmon, having IKEA breakfast, is that the next day, on Monday, we would get the news that Mr. B was being laid off with a bunch of people as part of, what do they call it, corporate restructuring, increasing shareholder value. You know how it goes. This would be kind of the last little bit of just quiet calm before a new storm. And it's funny because in the last clip I was just yammering on about how I had a great feeling about the summer, and the summer would still turn out okay, as current Jerry is telling you about this. But July's vlog will be a little bit more chaotic. So as we wrap up this May and June vlog, I hope that you are taking care of yourself. I hope that you enjoyed this very chatty vlog. And yeah, drop me a comment. Let me know what's going on in your life. This girl who's oblivious eating her breakfast sausage will soon find out that it is not the summer that she had hoped for. But nonetheless, thank you for watching. I hope to see you back here very soon. Take care.